So for those of you that haven't ever watched my videos before, I want to start off by saying I spent a good part of last night in a mosh pit, and my voice isn't as good right now as it could be, but I've been meaning to record this for a while, so I figured I might as well just do it. Hopefully you're not that big on first impressions, and I don't know, just bear with me or something. This is hopefully what's going to be a pretty decent tutorial on how to use a texture as a layer mask, and if you don't understand what that means, then I guess you'll figure it out as I go along. And also how to create your own brush, because that's kind of related in like an opposite kind of way. I don't know, you'll see what I mean. So this is one of the photos that I took last night, and a texture. I don't know who it's by off the top of my head, but I'll put it in the description when I upload this. I'm going to select it and Control C for copy, or Command C if you're on a Mac. I'm going to go to the bottom and select Add Layer Mask, and then I'm going to press Alt on my keyboard and then click on the white part of the layer, which is the mask part of the layer. And then I'm just going to paste Control V or Command V that texture in and resize it appropriately. I recorded the video before I record the audio, and I'm pretty sure that I spent a couple minutes doing this, or like a good minute. Basically, I'm just trying to get it so that it will look good with my photo. I don't want it cut off or anything. You'll notice that like it's black and white. The black part is the transparent part, and the white part is the most opaque part. So since that's a really dark texture, my image is practically completely transparent. I'm putting a background behind it so you could see it. But we're just going to Alt and then click on that layer mask once again. And then I'm going to open up my levels so that I can adjust the contrast a little bit so that the image is easier to see. You can play around with this depending on your texture and your photo to get it how you want to look. I'm really sorry about my voice, guys. So basically that's it. I'm going to unlink my photo from my texture. Basically what that does is now I can drag the photo without dragging the mask with it. And I'm just going to try and position my image so that you can kind of see Tim's face a little better in like the whiter parts of the mask. And then I'm going to go back into my mask, Alt click, and using a paintbrush, I'm going to paint some white where his face is because there's a little bit too much grunge there. So like remember, the white part is more opaque. So now you'll be able to see clearly. Remember that like this isn't like black in the places where the black is in the layer mask. It's actually transparent. It's just, it appears black because I have a black layer behind it. You'll notice that I relinked my photo to my mask. So now when I drag, I'm dragging the photo and the mask together. And I'm just trying to position it so that it's kind of in the center of the document that I have open, just so it looks a little better. And then, because like you can't really see it from here, but you can kind of see the top of my image, like the top edge, and that always bothers me when I see it in people's work. So I'm kind of taking it out with like a natural brush so that you can't like see such a harsh edge at the top there. And then I think what I'm going to do next is first of all stall for a minute because I'm kind of going ahead of the video. But I'm going to show you how it looks with like a transparent background and a white background, just so that you get the picture that like it's a transparent image and you can do whatever you want with it now. If you want to upload it to your website and put any background you want behind it. Sorry, I'm trying to invert the background layer and I like inverted the photo. So that's what it looks like with a white background. And then just for some reason I have like a puke green as my foreground color, so that's what it looks like with puke green. And then I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with this like while I was making the video, but I ended up playing around with the hue and saturation for a little while and deciding on like a dark reddish brown, like a mahogany or something, if you want to call it that. So yeah, I'm just gonna play around with that for a second, and then I'm gonna merge those layers, Alt Shift Control E, and then add a little bit of noise. You won't be able to see the difference really, but you can like if you're actually looking at the graphic. So note, I guess, that if you were to use like a plain gray or plain white layer in the place of the photo that we just put there with the mask, then basically what you would get is like a transparent version of this texture where like the black parts are transparent and the gray parts are slightly less transparent, slightly more opaque. Um, and I guess if you want to do that, then another way that you could do it is to create a brush, and then Photoshop will automatically like erase part of it for you. I've noticed that like in images with a black background, it takes out the black, but in images with a white background, it takes out the white. Um, I guess it's just that intelligent. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that it does do that. I'm trying to find a photo right now. I have one in particular in mind, but I didn't open it in advance because I'm really organized with these things, as you can tell. So in keeping with the Rise Against theme, I guess, I took a photo of the album cover, like the new one, Endgame, or I mean, I guess it's not new anymore, but the newest one, Endgame. And I could, like, I'm just editing it so that it's pretty much black and white. I could have done this beforehand, but I figured you might learn something if I do it while you're watching. I basically changed the brightness and contrast, and then I duplicated it, put the second, like the top layer on hard light, and then merged them. And then this is me screwing up, but what I'm trying to do is make it black and white. There we go. And then I can't remember what I'm going to do right now. What am I going to do right now? Filter. Oh, high pass. Okay, what high pass will do if you have a black and white image is, like, if you play around with the settings a little bit, it can even out your background for you. See the difference there? But it'll mess up the colors if you try and do it with a color image, so I don't necessarily recommend that. But with black and white images, it's cool, and it doesn't really matter because considering we're making this into a brush anyway, we're not going to preserve any color. So I'm just going to crop that because I really only want the word endgame, and then play with the levels some more to get it really just so that the background is white and the text is black. So that kind of worked. And then I'm also going to go filter blur, which doesn't really do much, but it kind of helps, I guess. And then I'm going to go filter posterize, image adjustment, posterize, yeah. And basically that'll reduce the amount of colors, or like reduce the shades of gray, depending on like whatever you play with in the settings. Just do whatever looks best, I guess. Like with my image, if you erase it too much, you get kind of like a weird gray background. So that's that. And then I still have a little bit of like grungy stuff in the background of mine, but I'm going to leave it because I'm not really using this brush except for the purposes of this video. And then I'm going to go edit, define brush preset, and you can name it whatever you want now. I'm just going to name it whatever like the photo was originally named because I don't care. Oh no, I named it Endgame. Wow, I'm really organized or something. And then I'm gonna make a new document. Yes, no, maybe new document. Okay, no, it's a new layer, new document. Okay, cool. So now what I'm doing is, I guess, using my brush. It'll be whatever brush that you have open, it'll just have automatically gone to the bottom of that. And then don't paste it like so it's off the screen like I did, like an idiot. And don't paste it onto the background like I did either. I think what I'm going to do is first I'm going to sharpen it for some reason. And then I'm going to change my mind and, I'm going to make it black and white. And then I'm going to play with it and decide that I don't like it in black and white. And then I'm going to put it back to green. And then I'm going to realize that I put it onto the background layer. So I'm going to do that again onto a new layer because I kind of need it on its own layer for the purposes of what I'm going to show you next. Sorry, I'm really disorganized. So this is me pasting it onto a new layer. Yes, no. No, I filled it with a black background because, yeah, I don't know. I'm really smart. Okay, here we go. So now I'm going to take my image of Tim that we were using before, and I'm going to duplicate that into Untitled 2, which is the document that I'm working in right now. And then what I'm going to do is delete the mask, because the mask comes with it when you duplicate it. and I don't need that for the purposes of what we're doing next. So delete layer mask, right click, delete layer mask, and then I'm going to right click on the layer again and press create clipping mask. And what that does is, like, it'll clip, I guess, my photo to the same transparency as the layer underneath it, which is the end game brush that I just made. Notice that if you have a black and white image, then you can use a layer mask, and if you have a transparent image already, such as a brush, you can use a clipping mask. So I guess that's kind of why they're opposites. Then I just duplicated the little end game thing that I just made into my 817, like the photo, and I'm going to play around with that so that it looks kind of neat, and I guess generate a graphic, which I'm probably not going to use after I finish this, but I'll upload it so you could see it or something. So yeah, that's that. I actually forgot to teach you how to make a brush set in this, which I meant to do. So, like, if this jumps in a second, that's because I forgot to do it in the original video, and I'm kind of sticking in another video at the end and then inserting it. So let's go back to the endgame brush that we were working with, and then I'm just going to go edit, preset manager near the bottom, and the default brushes that we have open in our brush window are displayed there. I'm going to click endgame, save set, and then you can save it, but I'm not going to because I really don't want this brush that much. You can also select multiple brushes by, like, holding shift while you're selecting or holding control. Hopefully you know how to do that. And yeah, now you can make your own brush set and, like, are hopefully more comfortable with masks, and will get more comfortable with using transparency in whatever graphics you make in general. I use masks quite a bit when I'm making a blend. Like, sometimes you want to make an image partially transparent, but you can't because the edges are so harsh or whatever. Or like say, like, part of somebody's, like, hand is cut off or something, and, like, you just can't, like, plain cut out the image. What you could do is just create your own unique shape, or, like, choose a texture to use as a layer mask as a unique shape, and then you end up with a neat transparent image, even though you didn't think you could necessarily do it with, like, I guess, the resources you had. So I hope that that's helped you, but as always, you can ask me questions, like, through my inbox or through my website or here or whatever. I'm going to go make tea or something for, like, the 4th time today because I have work tomorrow, and I really am hoping that I don't sound like this by then. But yeah, thanks for watching as always, and I'll talk to you guys later.